A giant dragon prepares to attack, its power felt in every detail. The guy stands on the ruins with sword in hand, also preparing to attack and defend. You can sense absolute confidence on his part. This is what a final boss should be like. He says to his opponent. The dragon prepares a magical strike, forming a complex magic circle in front of him. The hero attacks from a height, sword flying straight at the target. The impact causes a massive explosion, light and energy spreading everywhere. Viewers comment on his fight. Don't throw yourself into the fight, idiot. Don't go solo in a raid. He always fights alone, but add, because he's the best in the world. The hero rises into the air, preparing a decisive blow, while the dragon rocks below, ready to respond. The hero's face contorted with determination. He clutched the sword in his hands and thrust it into his chest. His eyes burn with magical energy, heralding the final attack. The hero's left hand is transformed by magical energy, turning it into a clawed limb glowing with pink spirals. The hero uses this transformation to lunge at the dragon, raising a huge clawed paw above his head. With fury, he attacks, his expression full of determination, and his transformed arm looks intimidating. The dragon responds with its powerful roar, and flashes of magical energy flicker between them. The hero notices a magic circle in the air, his face reflecting concern from the impending attack. The dragon scoffs, its aura of chaos enveloping everything around it. He wonders, is this the power of the chaos dragon? The hero praises his opponent's strength, but adds that it's not enough for him yet. Except for you, of course, he adds sarcastically. He demands sword scales from the dragon, menacingly declaring that he will fight until they fall. He promises to cut the dragon to pieces 1,000,000,000,000 times if he has to. The hero's perseverance is astounding. The dragon, on the other hand, seems fascinated by what's going on and gets curious. Huge insect-like monsters loom menacingly over the hero, who calmly assesses the situation. He soars lightning fast into the air, attacking from high above. Discharges of magical energy and a sword strike merge in a blinding flash. None of the monsters can resist the onslaught of such power. The hero confidently reflects attacks from both sides, using all his strength and skill. His gaze is determined and his magic hand emits a powerful energy. He shouts, "Get them out of the way!" With fury, he delivers a powerful blow, chastising his enemies, weaklings. Noticing the strange movement, the hero tenses up, preparing for a new threat. The system reports, "Dragon's breath detected. Time to activation, 5 seconds." The hero realizes that the dragon is preparing a decisive blow. The dragon releases a powerful beam of light, its energy filling the entire space. The hero remains motionless, preparing for the last moment. The stopwatch counts down quickly. 5, 3. He is running fast, his eyes full of determination. A blast of energy strikes the tower, collapsing in a whirlwind of light. The hero grabs onto a rock, fleeing the attack. With a sneer he utters, "For beginners, is that a death blow? I'll still defeat you." In chat, players discuss his actions, marveling at the hero's speed and strength, calling his movements insane. One of the messages is, "Who's the dragon here? You wouldn't know anymore." The hero is bleeding but still on his feet, threatening, "You're strong, motherfucker." The dragon, covered in wounds, recognizes the man's strength, calling him noteworthy and declares himself pleased with it. The dragon suddenly decides to retreat, calling the hero his opponent. The hero is flabbergasted, "You're running away?" Enraged, he shouts, "Don't you dare underestimate me. You have no idea how I've been preparing to defeat you." The system confirms, the enemy forces are retreating. The system alerts again that the Dragon Emperor has been discarded, and the character is given the title, the Achiever. But his response is, "I don't care," showing that he doesn't care about the title at all. The character takes off his VR headset, rubbing his head, and is clearly annoyed, showing that what's happening is stressing him out a lot in real life. He reflects that winning in the virtual world was the peak of his life, but everything that followed turned to chaos, ruining his career as a streamer. The screen reports that MangaMangacapped is closing the game just 2 months after launch, which apparently was a major blow to his plans. The protagonist realizes that he has lost his source of income and motivation. Remembering his past, he admits that his obsession with the game made him forget about sleep and food. His luck turned completely away from him. His younger sister died of a strange disease, which was another blow to the family. Subsequent events included conflicts with his parents, and after 2 years his savings dried up completely, leaving him in even greater despair. An irritated customer at the store demands business as usual, accusing the protagonist of being useless, and his current position as cashier is demonstrated by this. The hero apologizes and asks to clarify the number of cigarettes, but the customer reacts aggressively, showing the usual flow of negativity for the protagonist. The protagonist asks about the method of payment, and the customer rudely replies, "Cash." "Stop asking," continuing to create a tense atmosphere. The young man finishes serving the customer, but the customer sarcastically comments on his work. A grown man, but moonlighting? Shame on the parents. Outside the store, the young man shouts angrily, "Shut up, you old geezer," and kicks the door. Squatting down, he ponders, if the game had continued, this wouldn't have happened. With despair he adds, "Me, formerly the best in the world. How pathetic. This pathetic reality, let it be destroyed by a dragon," he thought sarcastically, looking off into the distance. Abruptly, as if coming to his senses, he says, "Yeah, it's time to grow up." A voice sounds out of the darkness, "I will destroy her as you wish," and the young man turns around dumbfounded. A huge golden dragon appears among the buildings, completely filling the streets. The people on the street look on in awe, and the young man is still just as surprised. "Dragon Emperor Angalmua?" he exclaims in surprise upon seeing the giant figure and the pack of dragons. People panic when they see something huge and dangerous in the sky and start screaming and scattering. Monsters resembling creatures from the game appear out of nowhere, causing terror and chaos among passers-by. One of the monsters attacks a policeman who tries to shoot, but to no avail. The monster smashes everything around and then devours the man's arm. The protagonist is shocked, thinking it's all just a dream, but then realizes that the situation is identical to the beginning of that very game. He sees the monster right in front of him and realizes the threat is real. Overwhelmed with fear, he realizes that he might just be eaten in such a situation. On the ground, he notices a baseball bat that may be his only chance for salvation. Gathering his strength, he grabs a bat to defend himself from the approaching monster. The monster approaches the hero with a growl, opening its jaws full of sharp teeth. In a desperate attempt to escape, the hero swings his bat, ready to strike. The guy delivers a powerful blow to the monster with a baseball bat, leaving a trail of blood, causing an instant reaction. The monster screams in pain, its movements becoming erratic. He looks at the weapon in his hand and ponders, did it work? Although guns have always been ineffective against them. He guesses that the weak point of this type of monster is the jaw, thanks to his gaming knowledge. Confident, he prepares for battle, declaring that he can fight. The monster retreats, which surprises him, as its behavior exactly mimics the game's. He realizes that everything that is happening is reminiscent of the opening scene from the game. Deciding he needs to take action, he gets on his motorcycle, preparing for his next move. He notices that the Dragon Emperor only appears in this scene and the finale, which gives him a chance to gather important materials. Rushing down the street, he confidently declares, "I can put together the best gear from the start." The guy remembered perfectly well that the ancient dragon was at the tallest tower in the city. The protagonist rushes on a motorcycle through the streets of a modern city. His determined gaze is forward, as if he knows what awaits him. Suddenly he notices something up ahead. Huge dinosaurs appear on the road, rushing forward with a roar. They look menacing with wide-open mouths and a menacing look. The hero leaps into the air, leaving the motorcycle behind. One of the dinosaurs gets hit by a motorcycle, well, more importantly not a coon truck. The guy notices a weak spot on the dinosaur's body. The heart scales are completely exposed, aren't they? He says, assessing his chances. With a wide smile, the hero swings the bat, showing determination. In exchange for my motorcycle, give me experience points. After a powerful blow, the dinosaur falls down and a glowing green stone flies out of its body. This is the evidence of his victory. The hero looks at the stone and happily remarks, "This actually gives experience points." His energy and enthusiasm grows. Holding the green object in his hands, he says thoughtfully, "In the game, I'd eat this, right?" His gaze expresses curiosity and eagerness to find out what happens next. The hero is eating a green orb. I wonder if it tastes good. At this point, the guy feels a surge of energy, because his levels have been raised. He looks at the mark on his hand in surprise, saying he knew it. As he rejoiced that the power was beginning to fill him, there was already a pack of dragons behind him watching his sweet ass. One of the monsters decided to take a bite while the hero was minding his own business. But what was the monster's surprise when the guy suddenly knocked out his sharp teeth? But the funny thing is, the main character started kicking him too. Oh, that's the big monster. After sending the monster flying, the hero realized that his physical strength had improved a bit. Smiling, the hero decided that wasn't enough, and so he wanted more. He decisively jumped on a pack of dragons with his bat to get them to give him all the experience points. Looking at his hand, the guy already had 5 slain dragons judging by the mark. Looking at the chaos he'd created, the guy admitted he got a little carried away and interrupted all the dragons. But still, looking at his exhausted bat, the guy realizes that with this weapon he will not go far, and therefore you need to do something. Looking at the dragon's body and tooth, he wondered, if this was a game, could he become stronger? In that case, picking up a dragon tooth, the guy had a great idea. After a while, our protagonist attached some dragon teeth to his bat to make it even stronger. The guy figured that if these dragons were really from the game, they would be weak to weapons made from their materials. As he left, the guy hoped that if he could find some more materials, he could become even stronger. He was determined to arm himself quickly and defeat the Dragon King. But suddenly, a strange girl started screaming for help. She was mad as hell, because our passing hero wasn't paying attention to her, but she was urging him to hurry up and help her. Suddenly something caught the hero's attention. No way! In the dragon's hands, he noticed a half-human weapon, just what he was looking for. He quietly approached the dragon and politely asked the dragon to give him this weapon, which made the dragon shit himself in fear. Because of the fright, the dragon attacked the protagonist sharply. But our hero is not as weak as before. He easily deflects the enemy's attack, even though he admits that the monster's attack impressed him. Standing up in a baseball player's stance, he prepared himself for the attack as if he was about to bat the ball away. With one swing of his toothy bat, he broke the dragon's horns, after which there was blood everywhere. Getting closer and closer to the dragon, the guy remembered that if you hit the horns, usually some materials fall after them. In this case, the hero decided to attack the enemy again, noting that the weak point of this species is in the center of the back. That's why our guy once again slapped the monster's back. Damn, I even feel sorry for that dragon. Our guy is a real fiend. In general, the weapon was finally in the hands of the hero, which he was very happy about. But the girl didn't understand what was going on. With dumbfounded eyes, she couldn't believe that with such a weak weapon, he had defeated the monster so easily. Who the hell is this guy? The girl thought. Anyway, the guy was about to head forward, but the girl asked him to wait. The girl introduced herself as Aki, and she's an idle rookie. Who are you? Aki asked. The guy looked disdainfully at the girl and introduced himself as Masaki, the hired laborer. Aki begged Masaki for help, but the guy abruptly said no. Let's take a walk. Damn fan service. Aki was still asking the guy not to leave her behind, but Masaki was in a hurry, so he didn't care. But still he asked, is she a DB by any chance? Aki didn't understand what that meant, so the guy explained what it meant. Don't play dumb. Masaki pointed to his hand where the number was. By asking, you raised the level from 0, didn't you? The girl looked at her hand and didn't realize, what was the number? At that moment, Aki realized that Masaki knew something about the game, and the guy was surprised by this girl's strength. Aki swore it was just a coincidence, so she asked him not to leave her alone. And besides, she really didn't know what DB was. In that case, the guy started yelling that DB stands for Dragon Destroyer, which is what the players are called. Aki was surprised that it was a game, since she had played only a little. Masaki thought the girl was joking, because he didn't understand how she had managed to defeat those things. The girl explained that she used to grind a lot. Suddenly she realized something. She remembered Masaki's face. He appeared to be Reacher, the only player who fought the final boss. Aki said she saw it on the news, calling Masaki pretty good. The boy, on the other hand, praised the girl, but still called her a fool. Aki wondered if they were really inside the game. Masaki said that they were, so he acted accordingly. The girl asked Masaki to help her again, because he was the world champion. But the guy gave her the sword and told her to get lost, but the girl didn't understand where he was going. Masaki confidently stated that he was heading to the final boss lair. In that case, Aki stated that she would go with Masaki, but the guy asked to give him a break. The girl on the other hand was saddened. She really didn't want to be alone. At that moment, the boy remembered something. He remembered his sister asking her older brother not to leave her alone. Having no other choice, the guy agrees. Masaki says she can do whatever she wants, to which Aki is very happy. The guy warns the girl not to expect to be safe, but it's better for the girl than being alone. She slyly touched Masaki, saying that if she survived with him, she would definitely become famous. And Masaki seems to like it, or maybe not. I'm the writer of this manga. Masaki thought Aki was crazy for thinking about it, but the girl realized that you can't be famous unless you're crazy. Soon the boy and girl were on their way to the den. A huge dragon was perched on the tower, wrapping its body around it. After reaching the right place, Masaki noticed that there were many people gathered in the square in front of the tower. The girl wondered if everyone was thinking the same thing. Could he really destroy something that big? Masaki was confident that he could do it right, assuming of course it was like a game here. Aki figured this weapon would be enough, but the guy wondered what would happen if it spotted them. The girl called out to the boy, but Masaki ordered her to be quiet and not distract him from the important fight. At this moment, the huge dragon was looking directly at Masaki and Aki, to which the couple was surprised and shocked. In the same second, the dragon sprang into action and rushed forward with determination as Masaki and Aki still stood there not realizing what was happening. The monster's toothy maw opens, displaying all its fury and power. The protagonist and Aki cover their ears at that loud roar. The girl next to her is clearly in a panic, but stays close. Aki calls out to the hero, clearly concerned about what's going on. She notices something behind her, indicating a new danger. A mob of monsters with burning eyes appear out of the darkness and begin to advance. The monsters look terrifying, creating a sense of chaos. The hero explains that it's rush. The girl asks in shock what it is in general, obviously trying to comprehend what is happening. Masaki yells that they're being attacked by a swarm of small enemies, and Aki begs her not to leave her. The mob of monsters keeps coming at the heroes, forcing them to retreat while trying to keep their distance. Suddenly, the huge dragon emperor begins to move, his figure majestically illuminated by flames, causing Masaki to despair. Shit. Aki, nervously clutching her sword, looks back at the two approaching monsters with burning eyes ready to attack. Masaki quickly explains the strategy: aim for horns or weak spots to expose the vulnerable scales on your back. Aki, having memorized his words, repeats to himself with a focused look, horns or weak spot. Gathering all her strength, Aki delivers a powerful blow to one of the monsters, shouting out, "Take that!" But her blow was not on the horns, but on his bells. The monster falls with a deafening roar, and Aki, standing next to the defeated foe, confidently declares, "Don't underestimate idols." Masaki mentally reaffirms her goal. "My goal is to survive no matter what." The giant dragon emperor now towers before the heroes at full height, making Masaki shudder with the realization of impending danger. Masaki examines her enemy's eyes, amazed at their strange appearance, and realizes that they are full of menace. A huge dragon appears in front of him, roaring loudly and soaring into the sky, its body engulfed in flames. Masaki clutches at the dragon's tail with rage, shouting that it's not going anywhere. Aki tries to catch up to him, shouting for him to wait, but the dragon keeps moving forward. Masaki loses his balance and slides, shrieking with indignation, and Aki seems startled by his actions. Aki says Masaki's name anxiously, looking at his desperate attempts to hold on. The dragon soars to the heavens, and Aki, standing below, screams his name with despair. Masaki struggles to hold back, screaming from the exertion, but looking determined. Once on the dragon's back, he looks around in surprise, asking what's going on. He notices that the surface has become more stable and estimates that traveling will now be easier. Masaki wonders at the height he's at, gazing into the city beneath the clouds, and questions how he got there. Reflecting on the fact that he and Aki were quickly separated, he decides that she can handle herself since she looks confident. Running across the dragon's surface, Masaki notices that it is covered in scales, which can be useful for farming. His main target becomes the sword scales, which he believes are the key to gaining power. Masaki remembers seeing the sword scales 2 years ago and confidently heads towards them. A scene full of blood and bodies appears before him, showing the aftermath of a recent battle. Seeing the dead, he ponders that they were the ones who walked here earlier. A mantis suddenly appears, which Masaki attacks with a bat, but the opponent looks powerful. The blow was so hard that his bat was now broken and he had no weapon left. Mantis raises a paw to attack, and Masaki realizes that the situation is becoming critical. Masaki ponders as she walks, that if she continues at this pace, she'll have to find another way to deal with the threat. He decides to take a chance and rushes under the belly of the huge green insect, counting on a more accurate strike. With force, he pierces the insect, drops of blood flying around it, showing that the blow was successful. Masaki's face shows satisfaction as he confidently says that this is where the scales he needs are. He delivers the final blow, punching the insect's abdomen through, causing a bloody flash. Sitting on the ground, Masaki notes that it was dangerous, noticing how opponents try to attack from the back. Seeing another creature approaching, he notices the similarity of their behavior to what he has seen in the games. A huge insect attacks, knocking Masaki to the ground. As he rises, he realizes with annoyance that as soon as he noticed it, the enemy struck a surprise blow. An army of similar insects appears before him and he realizes that there are an incredible number of them, causing him to despair. Masaki, with a tense expression, realizes that the enemy's numerical superiority is too great and escape will be difficult. He comes face to face with a huge praying mantis that looms menacingly before him. Gritting her teeth, Masaki deftly dodges. He aims at the monster's vulnerable spot and delivers a powerful blow that knocks the creature down. Relief appears on his face when he notices that he has reached a key objective, the legendary sword scales. Masaki draws her sword with determination, feeling its power penetrate her body, and is surprised at how easy it was. Suddenly, an even more threatening enemy appears before him, a giant pink creature with bright yellow eyes. Masaki loses his balance when the enemy suddenly attacks and is thrown off with force. He notices the blood and realizes he wasn't attentive enough to his surroundings, getting too caught up in the previous victory. Masaki promptly falls, catching himself on the wall, while his thoughts scream, "Damn. Not here and not like this." He realizes that everything is being decided now, and he needs to find a way to survive. His hand tightly grips the golden sword, around which bright sparks begin to shine. At times like this, the sword becomes his only hope. A huge dragon appears out of flashes of fire, offering his power. His words sound imperious, "Use my power." Masaki is perplexed when he hears the offer from his nemesis. He can't understand why he suddenly wants to help. His thoughts return to the game. If it's like there, I have to pierce my heart. It seems crazy to him, but there is no other way out. He makes a decision, realizing the gravity of the situation. I have no other choice. His eyes are full of determination and he is ready to do what needs to be done. With a cry of, "Come on," he raises the shining sword, surrounded by flashes of energy. This is the moment of truth that must change everything. Suddenly the world turns upside down and an unknown face pops up in front of his eyes. It was as if reality had cracked open, revealing something entirely new. Masaki asks the question, "What is it?" Everything happens so fast that he doesn't have time to realize. A bright light engulfs his body, energy explodes around him, and he screams, "This wasn't in the game." Masaki realized that he was beginning to lose consciousness. Lightning flashes on the roof of the building, illuminating the sky with a bright pink light that seems abnormal. The center of the roof is now destroyed, with a crack with a visible epicenter at the site of the lightning strike. Inside the destroyed area, Masaki can be seen, surrounded by flashes of energy, like the source of the destruction. But what is it? What kind of creature is that? The shadow of a giant creature with glowing veins approached, its menacing silhouette filling the space with terror. A fire dragon with white and red scales introduces itself as Engalmois and addresses Masaki. A huge dragon army prepares to attack, hovering in the air in front of Masaki's formidable figure. Yes, that's our guy, our Masaki. Dragon says it's a test, hinting at something important to Masaki. Masaki strikes with a powerful punch, destroying the dragon with a single blow. The Dragon Emperor warns that to survive, he needs to find a priestess. Aki, with a determined look, grips the bars tightly. The dragon encourages others to fight and resist, even in such difficult circumstances. Sudden fear appears in Aki's eyes when she realizes something important or unexpected. A mysterious voice demands that 6 sword Shishue be brought to its foot, suggesting disturbing thoughts. The huge monster that is Masaki, covered in wounds, exudes strength as he prepares for a decisive battle. He has no intention of surrendering. Engalmua, a majestic dragon, towers over the city, promising to destroy everything to the ground, terrifying the people fleeing in panic. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave comments, give me likes, it's my pleasure. If you've watched it to the end, write the secret word. Dagger. See you later and bye-bye.